Alright, good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be in your part of the world. We are back. I just wanted to eat my sausage. My Dr. Pepper sausage, which you've seen in the previous video. So, anyways, I wanted to finish eating first. So we had a first cookout, now we're doing the first fire of the season. See? Oh, first fire of the season. And do you recognize the color of that box, people? You see that box? Yes, that's a Dr. Pepper box. Because yes, I do drink Dr. Pepper. Which is hence the reason why I wanted to try the sausage in the last video. But here's the first campfire of the year, people. Here we go. There it is. Actually, I'm going to put this down and let the people watch this for a while. Hang on, I'll be right back. No, why didn't they do that? No, stop being stupid. Now what am I showing now? This stand doesn't want to cooperate because it's too late. I didn't ask for that. Stop showing stuff I don't want. There we go. Trying not to show anything that I don't want to show. This way. Thank you. And yes, I made the fire pit out of an old charcoal grill. What do you guys think about that? And seeing that I got you all in here, the other question would be, do you guys know where charcoal comes from? You guys have any fucking clue where charcoal comes from? I watched this one time on a TV show. It was called The History of Things. See, way back in the early 1900s, when you had Henry Ford, the maker of the automobile, most of the bodies of the automobiles back then were wood. And one of the things that Henry Ford couldn't stand, he couldn't stand waste. So we had all these wood chips laying around for making bodies of the Model T Fords and shit. Because like I said, cars when they first were invented were mostly made out of fucking wood. And Henry Ford didn't like that. He didn't like the waste of having all these scrap pieces of wood around. So one of the guys who worked for him, his last name was King. And Ford went to Mr. King and said, "Can you come up with something that will eliminate the waste product of making cars out of wood? What can we use these leftover, pieces of scrap wood for? Right? What can we come up with?" So they were trying all different things, and then one day, because the Ford plants back in those days was coal-fired, so somehow they wound up mixing some wood with some coal dust. And they realized that when you mix some of the byproduct of making the cars out of wood, and you mix that wood with coal dust, it gives a nice radiant heat. So that's how charcoal was born, people. It was a byproduct of cars. That a guy by the name of King, who worked for Henry Ford, came up with the idea of coating these pieces of wood in coal dust. And the first original charcoal grills were sold with Ford automobiles. Yes. You got the first original charcoal grills was sold with Ford fucking automobiles. So that's the history of charcoal. Because again, good old Henry Ford didn't like all this wood hanging around. So he's like, what can we do with all this byproduct of making the cars out of wood? And one of his employees, by the name of King, came up with the idea of mixing the wood with coal dust, which became the first original charcoal briquettes. And because Henry Ford's buddy King came up with the idea, that's why the first charcoal was called King's Ford charcoal. If you don't believe me, go to Wikipedia and look it up. Look up the history of King's Ford charcoal. That's where it started, in Henry Ford's fucking automobile plant. So all you people that used charcoal yesterday for your Memorial Day cookouts and shit, yeah. Charcoal was created because Henry Ford didn't like all this scrap wood going to waste in his factories. Thought it was a waste of resources. So like I said a minute ago, they mixed it with coal dust and it became the first charcoal. And the first grills that were ever made were given out to people who bought Ford Model T cars. So that's the history of King's Ford charcoal for you people. Right fucking there. That's the history of it. I like sharing that story around Memorial Day weekend because it's the start of the grilling season. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves to do their grilling season. So that's why I share that story this time of year. Because now you know where it all started. But yeah, the fireplace happens to be made out of an old Weber barbecue grill. That's what the fireplace is made out of. that was a nice old truck, that one that just went by. Oh, and speaking of Kingsport charcoal, guys, see what I start my fire pit with? Yep, there's Kingsport charcoal right there. See it? That's the best way to start a outside fire pit, because charcoal will give you a nice bed of embers. Yes, it will. I've started outside fires in the pouring rain with just a bag of charcoal and some dry wood. Because once the charcoal gets hot and turns into embers, it makes the perfect thing to make, to light a campfire with. Yes, it does, people. Oh my God. Yeah, this is boring to people. See, I'm not screaming at people, so I got no viewers right now. No, if I was doing a video, if somebody is a cocksucking so-and-so, the fucking room would be packed right now. But we ain't doing those kind of videos right now, no. How's your view, man? This has gotta go. This one on the other side's gotta go. What? What's going on? Huh? What's going on? I know that. I know the fire kind of looks shitty right now because it ain't dark enough. It needs to be dark. Yeah, it's a knockoff Dr. Pepper, but it works. It's a knockoff Dr. Pepper, but it works. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I never leave a campfire going either. Nope. I'm gonna throw all over my soda because there are a lot of bugs in it. No, what I do when this campfire is over, behind me, I have 4-gallon jugs of water, and I completely put it out before even thinking of going in the house. Because you know the phrase, only you can prevent a neighborhood fire. Yeah. I might have changed that a little bit, but yeah, you get the point. The fact that I'm not putting it out yet, but I'm gonna. See, this is what we'll use later. There's 2 of them right there. Got 2 of them right there. That's what I'll put it out with. There's 3 more behind me that I'll put it out with later. I will do a video response to the comments in the chat because with you guys down there on the ground, I can't see you right now. Chat is too tiny on the phone to be able to see you guys right now. That's why on the mobile, I wish I knew how to turn it off. Well, like I said, this old rubber grill, turning it into a fireplace is big enough for 2 people, a few people. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna have 18 guys hanging around a campfire. I mean, if it would be too small for that, but. Because when I first moved here, that's what we had as a grill. And then the roommates wanted a gas grill, and my my roommates are overprotective a little bit when it comes to their things. They don't like certain things being touched. So I continued to use the Weber grill, and what I used to do is I used to do my cookouts on it, and then while it was still hot, then I would throw 3 or 4 pieces of wood on the top and turn it into a fire pit. Use the charcoal that was in it from cooking on it. And then the roommate decided after the grill was like 3 years old, he's like, I don't want to cook on it anymore. you can start using the gas grill. So once he said that, I took the legs off the fucking charcoal grill and put it on the ground, and it became a fire pit. That's what happened to it. It is on bricks, by the way. There are bricks that are holding it up. 3 bricks to be exact. Like I said, trolls, this is just going to be a relaxing, laid back stream. That's all it is. Just so you know, I don't have a charger out here, so we're just going to stream this until the phone goes dead. Probably. Huh? Why? Because it's warm? Or because it's Bud Light? It's a nice, relaxing night. I probably should have waited to start this live stream when it got a little darker so people could have seen this a little bit better. Yeah, people are still chilling. Yeah, one of the security cameras on the property is aimed right at this fireplace. So after I douse it real good with water at the end of the night, I usually, you know, wake up constantly every every couple hours, and I'll check the security camera, and I'll be like, okay, nothing's on fire, go back to bed. I gotta find the poker thing. That's what I need to find. It's the thing to poke. And I don't mean like poker face. I mean an actual poker. Yes, guys, I deliberately said it that way to be funny when I say poker. Probably shouldn't be using the good tongs for this. Yeah, this is a piece of corn on the cob from last year, still in the fireplace. What's left of the corn cob. Remnants of an old campfire. Yep, here we go. Kingsford charcoal. I love it. Get back in there. Oh, another piece of Kingsford charcoal. Yeah, but this is all I need. I don't need it that big. I don't need like 20-foot high flame by 10 feet around. No, I don't need that shit. Right, Mike? Right. And everybody in the chat knows what a wheelbarrow is, right? Matter of fact, I'll go get one. Give me a minute. see this wheelbarrow, guys? I can get the equivalent. Oh, nope, you can't really see it. See that wheelbarrow? I can get the equivalent of a wheelbarrow full of wood for $10 where I go get my wood. $10 worth of wood would fill that, would have like one row of logs just above the rim of that wheelbarrow. Yeah, there's an old, there's a farm not too far from here that sells campfire wood. As you can see, this is pretty big. So I got a huge stack of wood behind me. And I got a bunch of it last fall because I wanted it to sit all winter and be nice and dry for the summer. That was the point, to have it nice and dry for the summer. What did we buy, like $30 worth of wood last year, and it's over in the back over there? Because I know I brought it from the truck down here in like 3 wheelbarrows full. So. Before I found this farm where I could buy campfire wood, and he sells it as campfire wood, I used to go to the local grocery stores and buy bundles of wood. And now to go to a 7-Eleven or I'm just throwing out 7-Eleven as a gas station or or the local mom and pop grocery store. The local mom and pop grocery store is now selling fucking bundles of wood for $11 a bundle at the regular store. And I can get almost double buying it at the farm for the same fucking price. And the wood from the farm is a mixture of hardwood and shit. You buy that shit at a convenience store or a gas station or your local supermarket, it's mostly pine and it only lasts 5 fucking minutes and then it's gone. Because that's the way it's designed, see? Because they don't want you to put one bundle in your fireplace and have it burn all night. They want it to be only, it'll last 5 to 20 minutes because if you fucking buy like 6 or 7 bundles to make it through the night, they're making out like that'd be almost like 70 fucking bucks. No. See, but my roommates, you see, they like the yard done a certain way. They don't like clutter. They hate clutter. So I can only bring over so much wood at a time without him bitching. But the same farm where I go get my wheelbarrows full of wood, I could order like 2 or 3 cords and stack it over here along these pine trees. But he would be like, "You're killing my grass. That's too much wood. It looks like shit." So I only buy enough of what I can hide behind the camper. But like I said, you want to start a fucking barbecue in the pouring rain? Use use a bunch of Kingford charcoal, get it going, and then fucking you can start a fucking nice bonfire in the pouring rain. I used to camp at this campground in Forster, Rhode Island. It's still there. And I had a few people come over and they were like, they wanted to visit my site. We were gonna have like some, shing-ding, some little small party or whatever. And one of my friends, Gordon, he was bitching. He's like, "It's raining. We'll never get the fire started." And I was like, "I'll bet you $50 I can get that fucking fire started." And that campground used tractor trailer rims for fucking fireplaces. He says, "No way, you can't get that started. I bet you can't get it." I'm talking torrential downpour. I put a I put a whole 10-pound bag of Kingsford fucking charcoal in the fucking fire pit. Then, because the campground rules said you had to have these aluminum garbage cans with aluminum covers, right? So everybody remembers the old school aluminum garbage cans, right? So I lit the charcoal and then I propped up one of the garbage can covers over the charcoal. Once the charcoal was fucking nice and white and fucking, really fucking hot, I just started grabbing wet wood off the fucking wood pile and it just lit. It just fucking, and nobody could believe me that I started a campfire that way in a fucking thunderstorm, torrential downpour with 5 fucking pounds of fucking, no, excuse me, 10 pounds of fucking Kingsford charcoal. You can do anything when you put your mind to it. And then for a while I got known in the campground as the fire starter. People would come to me on rainy nights and say, "Justin, can you get my fire going?" I was like, "Do you have Kingsford charcoal?" "I'll get it going if you have Kingsford charcoal." And I used to light them every fucking time in the pouring rain. I used to be good at it too. But that was before your time, Mike. You weren't around for those years. It came about 4 years later after I left the campground. But what ended the whole campground thing is my mother decided in 2005 she was to fix a hernia. She was going to allow the doctor to put mesh inside of her, and the fucking mesh was infected, and she wound up getting a massive infection. So my mother came up here to prison. Not here. My mother came up. We left Rhode Island in October 2005, and we went up to my mother's brother's place for a while, and then my mother got deathly fucking sick. Deathly fucking sick. The mesh was infected. They had to take it out. She almost fucking died. She got really sick. And then the next summer came around, and I left the motorhome on the campsite the whole summer of 2006. And Jenny came up to me and she says, well, you owe me for a whole season. I was like, what do you mean I owe you for a whole season? Well, your motorhome was here on the property. I couldn't rent out the lot because your motorhome was on the property. And she's like, before you can come back here to stay again at the campground, you need to pay me for that season, and you need to pay me for, and you'll have to pay me for 2007 season up front before you could come back. And I just didn't have that fucking kind of money. So, at the beginning of 2007, when she's like, I want last year's money and I want this year's money, which would have been over like $3 fucking grand. She's like, if you can't pay me for the 2006 season and you can't pay me for the 2007 season, then you need to take the fucking motorhome and get out of here. And by that time, because my mother being so sick, I had to find a permanent place, and that's when I found Kimball Avenue. So then the motorhome came up from Rhode Island and went to Kimball Avenue because I was never able to pay that debt off. She was a bitch. She wouldn't give me a break. She's like, your trailer was on the site for the whole entire season. Therefore, I couldn't make money on that site for the whole entire season, so I gotta charge somebody. So even though we didn't spend one night in the fucking camper in 2006, she charged me $1,600 for the full fucking season. Yeah, that's what ended that campground deal. That's what ended that one right there. And then she tells me, after it's all said and done, she's like, well, I have a place for people that need to store their RVs. You could have gave up the site, put it in storage, and then I wouldn't have charged you for that site. But because the camper was there on the fucking site, she couldn't make no money off of it. She wanted me and my mother pay the whole fucking thing, Mike. And that's when I said, no fucking way. I ain't made the money. No way. I always wanted to go back, but she wanted 2 seasons up front. The one I owed her and the next season. And I could never afford that, so I never went back. this one up on the edge so that we'll get air. There we go. And this is what Mike's drinking, guys. The beer of homosexuals. Right here. Yes, that's a joke because of the old whole transvestite being a spokesman for it, and then everybody losing their shit over it. So that's the problem with us human beings. We take things and we obsess over them. Shit we shouldn't obsess over, we wind up obsessing over. Okay? You had a Super Bowl halftime show where the girl showed 5 seconds of tit, and it was the end of the goddamn world. The woman showing 5 seconds of tit. Now, if everybody would have shrugged it off and said, oh, it was an accident, it wasn't a big deal, it wouldn't have been in the fucking paper as bad as it was. Right? It wouldn't have been as mainstream, as bad as it was. But everybody made a big deal out of 5 seconds of tit being shown on fucking national TV. Jeffrey Epstein would have been just another pedophile if they would have not have mentioned his name all over the fucking media. But because for the last 6 fucking years, all you hear is Epstein, 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 obsessing over it, made it into a bigger thing than what it never should have been into. If they would have kept his name out of the news and would have just shut the fuck up about the piece of shit, no, he wouldn't have been this big, and people wouldn't be bitching and being as popular about it. Same thing with the Bud Light thing and the transvestite. Okay, people blew that way out of proportion. Oh, Kid Rock taking a machine gun to fucking cases of Bud Light. Really? People blow up shit that they shouldn't even be talking about. You know? And it makes me puke, but every time I turn on YouTube.com, all I seen is Epstein, 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 every fucking where. He's only big because the people made it a big deal. 10 seconds of tit being shown on national TV was only a big deal, but because people made it a fucking big deal. That's the problem with people. The things people worry about in this country and fret over are some of the dumbest and stupidest things. I'm just being honest, Mike. I gotta go in. I gotta go in. Don't feel good. I'm not gonna be out here much longer either. See, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody wants to talk about Epstein, but nobody wants to talk about how Trump wants to build the ballroom. I think everybody should be bitching about the ballroom and the waste of money of him wanting to build the fucking ballroom. That should be more bigger news than Epstein should be. And even Monograph put it up. Did you notice that the last attempted uh, JFKing of Donald Trump? Did you notice that they took out? Did you notice they took out the vice president out of the room first, and then they took Donald Trump out? I thought the president was supposed to be more important than the vice president. So why on that last JFK attempt, why did they take Vance out of the room first? And then take Donald Trump out of the room, and then Donald Trump says, "This is the reason why we need a ballroom." No, Donald Trump, you don't need a faggot ballroom. Jesus Christ. You're wasting my fucking money. That's what you're doing. You know, with the fucking ballroom idea. Yeah, I'll help you in there in a minute, Mike. This is almost done anyway.
Getting very tired.
I didn't bring my phone, so oh no, I'm using my phone, so I can't tell what time it is. Now, which one do you think they should have took out first in that last incident? Should they have taken out Vance, or should they have taken out Donald first?
Trump.
Right. The Secret Service should have took Trump out. But no, in that last JFK attempt, they took Vance out first. And then they took Donald out. And a lot of people said that was staged anyway. So he could prove a point of why they needed the new ballroom. Jesus Christ. What time is it anyway?
I have no idea. I know it's
It's 7 o'clock.
time for me to go in.
Alright, well, just be careful going in. I gotta bring this food in, guys. I'll be right back, too. But I'll be right back. How dead are we? We're at 48%. There we go. Now it's flaming nice. And what's on there now will be the last pieces of wood on there for the night. I'm going to put this cardboard away and save it because we don't need any more. Save this cardboard. I'll be right back, Mike. I'm gonna bring this food. Oh, I forgot the plate. How did I forget that plate? You want another beer, or is that one good enough? But yeah, I'm just letting everybody chill and have a good time in their own lawn. But with me being practically, my eyes are getting really bad, guys. So this is, I hate to admit it, but my eyes are getting really, really, really bad. So the day that I was in the restaurant parking lot, and I made that video and I was tweaking the fuck out. And I told everybody that I wanted to go into the restaurant and I wanted to order my pastrami sandwich because it was the number one thing that I wanted. So I get in the restaurant that day and they don't have any left. And the waitress is like, you need to pick something else on the menu. You need to pick something else on the menu. And I'm like, I showed her the picture. I said, this is what I wanted. And then she's like, well, we don't have it. Do you realize it took me almost 45 fucking minutes to find an alternative at the dinner because I couldn't even read the Friendly's fucking menu. Yeah. Couldn't even read it. So I said, Mike, look up the burgers. And he had to read to me what each burger they had was. Because I can't even read a fucking menu anymore. I can't read a fucking newspaper anymore. My eyes are fucking shot. So that's why when I go to certain restaurants and I know what I want, I usually go look at the menu and show them the picture and say, this is what I want right here. See this? This is what I want. And if they tell me, oh, we don't have it, how long did it take us to order? Almost a fucking hour because I couldn't read the fucking menu. My eyes are just fucking, and that's why I'm ignoring the chat right now because I can't see you guys. I see a blur of text down there. I can see people typing, but I can't make it out. I just can't see what you guys are saying because my eyes. Now I could look 100 feet away from me and see something perfectly clear, but yet when I try to read a fucking menu or a fucking newspaper or something up close, I can't see it. Can't see it anymore. Just can't see it. So that really pissed me off when I went in there and then I couldn't even read the menu. That's pretty bad, guys. When you can't even read a menu anymore. That's how bad my friggin' eyes are getting. But yet, I can drive a car and see hundreds of feet in front of me. See if there's another vehicle, see if there's a deer crossing the road. But go to read a newspaper, go to read a menu, and I can't see it. I literally go to try to read the chat and try to read the chat in this live stream. I can't see it. But I can look a mile away and see clear as a bell. I don't get it. I don't remember what the term is when you can't see stuff close, but you can see shit far away. I don't remember what. It's almost ready to be going out. I'm not putting any more on it. I'm trying to burn that one down just a little bit more so I can snuff it. And the biggest thing that annoys me, guys, you want to know what the biggest thing that annoys me is when I try to fucking read something and the article looks like it's going in and out like that because of my eyes. It won't stay in focus. That when my eyes start doing that shit, it just drives me in fucking insane. Yep, now that's gonna burn up quick, Mike. Gonna burn up real quick now that I fanned it out again. How much better do we have? Okay. What time is it? Alright, so in another 10 minutes we're gonna snuff it.
Everything. I'll wait 10 more minutes. I'm not gonna make it.
Just go slow. Give me your lighter. Of course, I put my fucking lighter in the house with the food. Of course I did. Yeah, it's just gonna be normally we do stay out here longer, but it's just a short night today. I haven't been feeling good. I got crap for sleep last night. Literally. What are you doing? What you doing? Oh. Now I am toying with the idea of doing some streams on Kick, just to let everybody know. I am toying with the idea of doing that.
How many fucking times you gonna light that thing?
Well, you know, these Native American cigarettes are useless. They never stay lit. Sometimes I like to go, meet the guy who invented fire safe cigarettes and just bat them around a little bit. Because they're just so, they aggravate me just so much. But they have to be safe. You have to have safe. Yeah, just because I need to have safe doesn't mean I want to light it 300 fucking times, okay? Just being honest. Oh, did that one finally break? I think it did. Oh. Yes, it did.
I've got loose.
Uh-oh. Did he? Yep, my neighbor's dog got loose again. He's a cute little dog. But because it's a puppy, it's fucking hyper. So it just ran down the street. Gotta love it. Gotta love them when they... Nope, I can't make that comment. Because somebody would snip it and turn it into something dirty. They would have turned that into a PDF comment if I would have said it, so I got myself saying it, so.
Huh. Oh.
Yeah, when you go tomorrow, you're gonna have to check and make sure you don't have any solas anywhere. Remember how they said they wanted to check you for that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, seeing as you can see, there's hardly nothing left in the fireplace. So this is how I take care of it. This is how I take care of it at the end of the night. See, I let it burn down to about there. And let it burn down to about there. Let me get that poker again. Where did the poker just go? Oh, it's over here. Now what you do is you spread all this out. Yep. Spread it all out like that. And then you take your gallon jug of water, because we don't want to start no neighborhoods on fire. And this is how we put it out. This is my way of dealing with it. The end. The end. And that's how you start. That's how you get rid of it. We're not starting. So that's how I do it. Stop. And one more for good measure, and it should be good. Done.
Oh. Ow.
Yeah, was that good? Did you enjoy your fire, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it while it lasted. It was nice having a cookout. Put that back up on the hanger. Close this grill. And I appreciate everybody in YouTube land hanging out with me for the fire. We will see everybody on the next one. Peace. Everybody stay safe, be well, take care of yourself and each other. We're out.
Oh. Oh. Oh.